Hello everybody, today we are replacing the downpipe on my Toyota MR2 Mark III. The downpipe on the right hand side is what's left of my factory downpipe, and the problem with the factory one is that at the beginning of the downpipe, where the 4 exhaust manifold pipes go down to these 2, they are very skinny and don't breathe very well. You're only looking at about 38-39 millimeters, so maybe 1.5 inches in diameter on that pipe. On the left hand side is an aftermarket one. This is a second-hand one, but if you want to get your hands on a new one, I recommend Roadster Sport. I'm going to leave a link in the chat to their eBay hub. They've also got a website, roadstersport.uk, and if you use code AS1 you will get a discount. As far as the beginning of the pipe goes, you're going from 40 millimeters to about 50 millimeters, so about 2 inches in diameter. So it'll breathe a lot freer based on that, and you'll gain about 5 horsepower. You can get a version with a high flow cat, which may be legally required in your country, or you can get a version which is like this and there's no cat converter at all. It's just a straight through pipe, and that might gain you up to another 5 horsepower. I've taken the bolts out of the back of the exhaust. They pop straight out, just a 12 millimeter socket on each of those. Okay, so one step of the downpipe removal that I've been struggling with is removing this O2 sensor just here. What I originally had was this 22 millimeter half-inch drive oxygen sensor. It's a nice short one because I had a warning that the really long deep tube ones can splay and buckle and then gall the nut, so I used a nice short one. When removing the exhaust manifold, it cracked off this oxy sensor with no trouble. It pulled off this oxy sensor with no trouble, but then unfortunately on this one it splayed and it galled the oxy sensor quite badly. So then I moved on to some vice grips. They didn't work either. They just went round and round on that galled nut. So sort of as a last resort, I went to eBay and I bought this Goodyear, same as the tire company, Goodyear branded half-inch drive 22 millimeter socket. I had to cut the back of the wire of the oxy sensor off, so I'm committed to replacing it now. Slipped the deep socket over because I knew it wouldn't splay. These Goodyear ones are designed specifically for rounded damaged nuts, and slinging it off a torque wrench, having jacked the car up and taken the rear bumper off, I've just managed to crack it. Took a lot of force, but it did crack. So we're gonna take it off now. Okay, so it's out now. Now for a close look, that is the damage that was done by a specific 22 millimeter oxygen sensor remover, as in that one there. Just splayed open and then rounded that right off. So I was in pretty deep trouble. And this is the inside of the Goodyear branded socket, which is designed for damaged nuts and bolts. You can see that it's all rounded inside, and it puts an air pocket around every edge, so it only actually grabs on the flat parts of the bolt. So it doesn't matter if it's rounded off pretty badly, it should theoretically crack it off, and it has cracked it off. This thing was amazing. I'm not being funny, I'm gonna replace every single socket I own with one of these Goodyear ones. That was incredible, and they're cheap too. They're on eBay, they're only a few bucks a piece. Okay, so as for the replacement post-catalytic converter oxygen sensor, I had to do some research to figure out the part number of the original Nippon Denso model, and it is 234-4603. So if you go to Amazon or you go to eBay and just punch in 234-4603, it'll bring up these aftermarket generics. Amazon happened to be the cheapest for me on the day, and this was a little over 15 British pounds. The 3 Amigos, infamous for their notoriety for being hard to get off. I'm gonna film one of them. They're at the bottom of the exhaust manifold, and in the dead center there, that is one of the three. 17 millimeter socket required for that. Again, I've not even tried with a regular 17 mil socket. I've gone straight for one of these Goodyear ones, never used before. I've got that one off, just put it back on with some copper grease. Broke off straight away. I've got that one off straight away, put that back on with copper grease. And now that is the final one. And it just cracked again. No trouble with this Goodyear socket. Alright, so with the rear two bolts taken off, the three amigos taken off, and the oxygen sensor removed, there's only one thing left, and it is a rubber hanger that's right at the back here. So what you want to do is hit the bottom of the hanger with some WD-40, and then you should just be able to wriggle it off. Alright, so as for the install of the aftermarket downpipe, getting 5 bolts plus a rubber hanger plus an oxygen sensor all back together at the same time is not very easy. So what I would recommend is starting with the least forgiving bolts first. So we put the three amigos, we slide that part of the manifold on first, and then we just do these up finger tight. Then I go to the back of the downpipe and I put that bolt and that bolt in finger tight. Then I install the oxygen sensor, that's back in now. And then finally we can install the hanger. And with everything on, then we can go around and torque them up. And if I can get a good angle, that's it. That is the finished downpipe result.